Motorcycle accidents are terrifying experiences. You're hurt, and you need someone on your side who understands. Call the Advocates. They have over 20 years' experience with accident cases and have recovered settlements for hundreds of other motorcyclists. They can handle the medical bills and deal with the insurance company so you can focus on recovering and getting back on your bike. The Advocates are my motorcycle attorneys.
You deserve clear, risk-free advice to help get you back on your feet. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show live on your YouTube machine. Hello. Good morning to you. It's July 17th, 2024. We have got a lot to get to today. As always, we are presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. You guys, the job you did yesterday, just want to say thank you. We continue to push for our goal of $5,000 raised for less fortunate, underprivileged, and homeless kids to go back to school. And we are very close. We are very close to that. We are about $300 off of our number from last year, according to the Advocates. They are partnered with the Road Home. You know, the Road Home is one of the foremost homeless advocacy groups in this country. Here's what I love about the Advocates. When we talk about partners and sponsorships, the Advocates work in your community. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you can count on the Advocates. When you get into an accident, hey, whether you were coming home from the lake and you were pulling your boat or your trailer, or you were just going to the grocery store, it's not your fault that guy was driving distracted. Did you see that story the other day that JK sent me about this bro that was drunk and drove through a nail salon at over 50 miles an hour? That's wild to me. Why? But that's what happens in our communities. We're driving on the freeway the other day, and this guy is holding his phone on the steering wheel. And like, you can see him drifting. And I'm like, this guy must be looking at his phone. Sure enough, it's not your fault you got into an accident, but you didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve to have your car totaled, right? Or your beautiful camper. Get to theadvocates.com and consider donating. Advocates donations, $1, $5, whatever you can do. I'm not sure how we're going to do it because we're off on Monday. But this Friday, I guess we're going to have to come up with another spectacular somehow something, because you guys really answered the bell last Friday and yesterday. Spectacular job. Even though Glenn cheated to win, San Diego State Glenn absolutely cheated to win.
Not cool.
We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, not cool.
We'll have to talk about that. But it is what it is. The Advocates at theadvocates.com, working with the Road Home to provide basic necessities for kids to go to school with confidence so that they can learn at a high level and end the cycle of poverty in their lives. Make a donation on Venmo right here. Advocates donations on Venmo. See, I'm even doing it in the right direction. Advocates donation. Just put in the memo section, Monty Show Kids. Something Monty Show, something kids. Send a screenshot to Jake and he'll send you nothing in return because he's a greedy. A couple of shout outs this morning. Hello, Mountain Mama. Mike Smith decided he's going to watch the show again today. Well, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
It's good to see you. Hit the like button, everybody.
How many of us really quick are playing the college football game? We know Brandon Butler is.
Here we go.
But how many people are playing it in the chat? Because I really want to know, is this going to turn into like a show phenomenon? Are most of the people that listen to this show playing it? Or is it just a small little group of you guys?
For a guy who hates Madden football, I cannot imagine you ever playing that game.
I mean, I could get into it if I had other people to play with, but I wouldn't just play it on my own.
Okay, that's fine. Jake was a guy as a kid who, when I would beat his ass thoroughly
That's
at Madden
the problem.
football.
See, that's the problem right there. That's the problem.
I'm supposed to let you win.
Well, why don't you like Madden football? Well, Pops put 100 on me like 4 games in a row, and I didn't know how to play the game. So,
Is that my fault?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Matt Ritson, morning, guys. Good news or bad news on Florida State leaving the ACC? I don't know. You're going to find out in 5 minutes. Justin Bemis, Coffee and Football. Hello. Welcome to the nightmare. Good morning, guys. Everyone hit the like button. Yes. The inner tubes. Exactly right. Oh, look, Oak State James already apologizing. Why do you always have to be like the guy that's like, oh, do you guys remember what I did yesterday on the show? Bro, just say good morning. That's it.
It's cool. It's cool.
You're the guy that's like, you apologize for everything. The guy drove his car through the front window of your coffee shop, and you're like, oh, bro, I'm really sorry that...
I'm sorry the espresso is so hot, dude. My bad.
Man.
Sorry that the biscuits weren't available because you ran them over.
It annoys me, like, the whole I'm sorry. Like, stop saying you're sorry.
Hey, James, let me roll out a classic Marty line. Don't say sorry, just don't do it, okay?
That's
Thanks.
what I'm saying. The fact that Oak State James doesn't know how Venmo works is amazing to me. He does know. He just, Mill Norm says he's playing college football.
Okay.
Mike Smith says, I'm not a big gamer. I still play Diablo. But that's about it. Oh, Diablo 3, but that's about it. Okay. James says Guten Morgan.
Whatever
who's Guten Morgan?
What does that mean, bro?
That's fine. James says, I still need more books. Make a Venmo donation. Donate to the Advocates.
Dude.
Donate to, but I'm not buying you priest porn. I'm not
priest porn.
I'm not doing like James is doing this weird thing about. I'm not giving. I would just to make it so you never apologize again. I'd give you an Amazon gift card just to shut the fuck up. I would do it. I'm kidding.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
I'm totally kidding. Just please stop apologizing for
Shut
everything.
the fuck up, Donnie.
Oh, you tripped and fell? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, you burned your tongue? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you shat yourself? Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway. Jeremiah Champion, I think James was trying to say good morning, but in German.
Okay.
Probably ought to go to a show that speaks German then. If gluten-free means good morning in German or whatever he said, I'm not going back to look for it. Caleb Aylmore, my dad used to beat my ass and Madden was as well, but then I started to beat his. I didn't want to play me on rookie versus all pro. Well, I don't know why we're delaying getting to Florida State. Oh, I know why, because I fucking hate talking about it. But we were just talking about before the show started. Jake said that I'm get off my lawn guy now, that I'm an old man. Because we were talking about the fact that I'm not watching negative shows anymore. I'm just not doing it. The Trump assassination thing, followed by the news, like all of the bullshit and lies about the Trump assassination. That was it. I was done.
Yeah.
As soon as people are like, oh, it was a fake assassination. He's faking it. Look, he didn't have a bandage on his ear while he was playing golf. Okay, cool. I don't care. I don't care. There was a dead body on a roof. Was that guy fake too? Like, I'm just not like that. That's where it was over for me, right? So I'm not watching Mayor of Kingstown violence. I turned on Mayor of Kingstown the other day. They cut a guy's stomach open to pull drugs out of it. Yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm done with the violence. The only violence I'm going to get to is Miami Vice. I'm in the middle of season 1. The Miami Vice is the greatest show
not really
ever.
A violent show. Like, it's a good show. It's
Sopranos?
not violent. Sopranos has some violence, but like Sopranos is iconic. Like, that's a great show.
And on top of that, I said I'm not eating cheese anymore. I'm just not, like, I don't enjoy cheese. I'm probably old as F, but like, we had a pizza last night and it just wasn't that good. Like, it's real heavy. And today I'm over here peeling paint off the ceiling because of because I don't eat dairy. I don't eat dairy. I don't eat much red meat.
But I know that it might just be the quality, right? Because obviously cheese on a pizza is different than like what you would get at the deli. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
I like creamy Havarti cheese. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
But that's all. I'm done with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just seem a little salty about the TV situation, and
I'm just over it. I'm
Yeah.
over violence on TV. I just am.
yeah.
Mike Smith, 54 and counting. Getting old sucks. It doesn't. I actually don't feel old.
I'm not saying that he's old. What I'm saying is that you've departed from
Great movie.
gaming
Really violent.
and
Really, The
violent
Departed. Really
movies.
violent.
Yeah, but like that's a great movie. The Departed was a great movie, dude. It's very violent though. You know, like
Throwing dudes off of roofs.
The Accountant.
Super violent.
Right? Like Jason Bourne, very violent. Great movies though. Some of my favorites. Like, you know, I just when I heard that I was like, damn, dude, like we're starting to leave
Ronin.
Yeah, you know?
Ronin, a great movie.
Yeah.
Very violent.
So I don't know.
The Fifth Element, great movie. Gladiator, great movie.
Gladiator's violent.
Sopranos, great show.
You're damn right I'm seeing the new Gladiator in November.
I'm probably not. Fuck them. Big Blue Horses. Grumpy old Gen Xers for the win. Hey, man. If that's what I am, that's what I am. But I know who I am. I'm a cup of oats with blueberries and blackberries for breakfast.
Who the fuck are you?
Yesterday I had shredded chicken and vegetable tacos. That was amazing. And then last night I decided to have pizza and it was terrible.
Right.
It was good, but it's just I'm just not.
So what do you think on the opposite side of the conversation? What is it now that you're gonna get into? So if you're not watching violent, not watching or eating pizza, let's say, what's the flip side of that? Is there like stuff you're looking forward to watching now, or you're just gonna trend into
Friends and Seinfeld? That's where I'm at.
That's what I was gonna say. Are we just reverting back to 24/7 international house hunter programming?
I am. I don't know.
That's my biggest concern. I like, because I don't disagree that most of the stuff on TV is either negative or violent, and you have to go out of your way to find anything positive. And again, this excludes sports because sports is just its own thing,
which I watch a lot of. But I'm gonna wind up watching shit like International House Hunters. Love that show.
Right.
Mindless, entertaining TV.
Are you a cooking channel guy?
No.
Like Food Network?
No, I have testosterone in my bloodstream.
Well, I know a lot of people love Food Network.
We
used to watch cooking shows.
I'm a man. I don't mind cooking channel like Chopped or whatever. Man. I don't know that that's what I'm going to watch on the regular. I mean, I will tell you. I don't even want to say it out loud. What was I forced to watch? Forced. Like she strapped me to the couch. Watched some more Bridgerton last night.
Oh, so sex is fine, but negativity, we're not in that.
So are you questioning whether or not sex is a bad thing? See, this is the shit you say. Where I just don't understand. I don't understand the level of stupidity.
On the show and their sex,
the
we're
level
not watching that.
The level of
but
stupidity
of
the things that you
and
say.
Their sex, we're good.
It's not. It has nothing to do with the Queen of England, douchebag. It is. See, it's different than, and I know you can't think critically because you're a millennial,
right?
But it's different than Game of Thrones, where dude is banging his sister and then somebody's head gets chopped off. Right? Like it's different than Game of Thrones.
Right.
Bridgerton, there's actual, and I know you don't like this based on your history.
Mm-hmm.
There's actual hot chicks getting boned.
Anita, Dick, and Ming.
Right? And Bridgerton's a decent show. I don't hate it. But I'm telling you right now, when you say shit like, are you telling me that sex is good? Yes, sex is good. Hate to break it to you, virgin.
I never
sex
said it was
good.
bad. I just think it's funny that
God almighty.
We've shifted from there's too much sex in the world to now we got to stay away from negativity. That's all. I just think it's a funny, interesting little shift. That's all.
Do you guys see what I deal with? When I have to explain why sex in a show makes it good, not bad.
I don't really get it.
When I have to explain that, don't ever question me again about
Macaque.
why I want to do a DNA test on Jake, because he's not my child.
Right.
Like, I can't, like,
Uh-huh.
All right. You guys are not here to talk about sex on TV. Phoenix Master apparently is. I'm 22 and all my coworkers and most of the Monty Show group chat, speaking of which y'all should join, call me a kid still.
Yeah.
Well, because you do say some stupid shit in the group chat. I can't remember. So you have said some remarkably questionable things in that group chat. What were we talking about the other day where you were just on the wrong side of it, dude? Like everybody in the members only group chat, which is amazing. Hit the join button, become a member of the channel.
It was something
$10 a month, and you
was-
get into our Instagram members only group chat, which is awesome.
Something about the shooting and Donnie. And
I can't remember what it was.
Up that alley.
And then there's Tanner, and Tanner just repeatedly ripping people, like in the group chat. There was this one family in my neighborhood who didn't watch anything violent. For example, if there was a toy gun in a movie, they wouldn't watch it. Okay, well, I'm going to watch Toy Story.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. Kind of crazy, but their kids turned out fine.
Listen,
I wonder
let's
why.
not misconstrue this. My dude over here is not going full, like, avoiding guns in a TV show. That's not the point. Like, let's not blow things out
I'm
of
going
proportion.
full, don't want to watch prisoners in jail tear open a guy's intestine to find bad dope and sell it. That's a little over the top these days. Right? Big Blue Horses. I fell down Downton Abbey rabbit hole. Downton Abbey's a great show.
Yeah.
Great show. Phoenix Master. It's a great chat. I love having discussions with y'all, even when you all disagree with my takes. That is a very politically correct way of saying disagree with our takes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's rock and roll on the Monty Show, because obviously there is a big story about Florida State, and it truly feels like Florida State against the world. Let's get into it. Brett McMurphy, the Action Network. Yeah, I don't know either. Anyway, but the point is, Brett McMurphy, one of the most respected college football insiders, yesterday essentially lit the world on fire when he tweeted that the Big Ten and the SEC has no interest to add Florida State if it leaves the ACC and the ACC stays intact. Big Ten and SEC don't want Florida State because it doesn't make financial sense. That's questionable. No appetite to expand, and quote, they've been a disruptive partner, sources say. Now, if you take that in sections, does it make financial sense to add Florida State? If you're the Big Ten, I don't believe Florida State or Clemson is a fit in your conference in any way, shape, or form. I think if you are the SEC, go and own the state of Florida. Go and own that state. Get Florida State, add Miami. You dominate every recruiting circle in the state of Florida. It's not close. It makes financial sense that Florida State, one of the power brands in college football, brings you added equity. However, a certain somebody on this show has for a long time been saying that Florida State is damaged goods, that their reputation, according to people that we've spoken to, and we've reported this on the show for a while, that Florida State is not popular. Florida State has an image problem. Florida State is not well liked by the other members of the ACC. And I think when you look at the reporting here, Jake, maybe even though you don't like sex on TV shows, maybe this is where you take a bow.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's very simple. It's a very simple premise. If you're going to be a pain in the ass in your conference, if you're going to be a pain in the ass in your conference, when you want to improve your position financially, when you essentially anytime that you're going to need someone's help to make something happen that benefits you, that's not going to happen because people don't respect you because of the way you've handled the whole thing. And I think this goes all the way back to where Florida State's issues began, which is not getting into the college football playoff because Jordan Travis was injured, and then going full tinfoil hat, collusion, rigged college football playoff guy because there were some helmets shown on an ESPN feed before it actually was announced to the world. And that right there is where I feel like Florida State's image problems and reputation problems began, because it's pretty clear that Florida State would have been in the college football playoff had Jordan Travis not been injured. Had you been 100% healthy, I think you would have been in. And I think pretty much everybody agrees with that. And we've had multiple people on the committee say that that was the case. So it's a very cut and dry situation. And I bring that up because of the way Florida State's handled this whole thing. So it started there. Now you've gone through all this litigation against the ACC, and you've trashed their name. You obviously got all your state officials involved in Florida. Like, you've just been this huge pain in the ass. So the idea that the Big Ten, let alone the SEC, would go out of their way to help you get out of the ACC, to Brett's tweet, while it's still intact, is crazy. Now, if the ACC melts down and you don't have a conference anymore and Florida State's available and the Big Ten or the SEC can add them without damaging the ACC further, then we're having a different conversation than we would be if the ACC was still intact. So 1,000%, I have been saying this, and I agree with Brett's tweet. Like, your reputation is not helping you here.
But again, I'm just going to go back to a couple of other things that I've talked about on this show in the past, and I've been told this week. The alternatives are not on Florida State's side. And I think when you look at, the position that the SEC finds itself in, they're the most valuable football brand in the world, bar none. And you look at their membership is actively looking for ways to make more money. And I think when you look at this in is threat too much of a word, when you look at the threat of a super league and what that means to the SEC, I think there is a chance that the SEC leaves money on the table by agreeing to or becoming part of a super league model. I would tell you that private money is going to play a massive role in the next 12 to 60 months of college football history. Private money's coming. And I think I look at this situation with the SEC and Florida State. I think the single biggest question is, can Greg Sankey unify his members behind the idea that they're better off as a single entity rather than a super league? And because I truly believe, based on what I've heard, that Greg Sankey does not want a super league. I don't think he wants that. I think that Greg Sankey believes, rightly or wrongly, he believes that he is the captain of the biggest yacht in the ocean, man, and that they can make the most money. But I also hear on a regular basis that the SEC and its membership are not aligned. They're not in lockstep on what the future of college football looks like. They are not aligned into what the future of their conference looks like.
Mm-hmm.
They are not aligned, as my text machine just is blowing up with people telling me I'm an idiot, with what the future looks like. And I can only tell you that sources continue to indicate to me that there is a split in the SEC over Super League versus equity, private money.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that so significant in this conversation? Because and I think we talked about this 6-8 weeks ago, I think Florida State has no way to be an independent. But I do believe that Florida State has the ability to go to and use the Big 12. I don't think there's any way, shape, or form in the future that Florida State is a full share member of the Big 12. I don't believe that's happening. I, again, will tell you I cannot find a single member of this conference, and we have sources in just about every corner, There's not a single source I have in the Big 12, not a single source we have in TV that believes Florida State has any interest or will eventually join the Big 12 in the current climate. Something significant would have to happen. And that includes the ACC completely melting down, because that changes things completely. And I think that's a big part of Brett McMurphy's tweet here. If it leaves the ACC and the ACC stays intact.
Yeah, that's a big piece.
Because we've talked about that exact thing on this show. If the ACC is no longer a thing, the game has changed completely. But the idea that Florida State will leave the ACC to join the Big 12 is unfounded. There is no evidence of that. There's no sourcing on that. There is nobody in this Big 12 conference that we speak to. And I'm not trying to flux and tell you who we know. We have people just about everywhere in the Big 12. Board of Regents, chancellors, presidents, athletic directors, coaches. We've got people. We have worked really hard in this conference. And I cannot find a single person to tell me that Florida State will be a future member of this conference, lock, stock, and barrel. But pretty interesting notion being put forward. They all would like to play Florida State in football.
Mm-hmm.
They all would like to play Florida State in basketball. And I think that's a real thing. Now, is that what is the term you used in the pre-show meeting? Scheduling alliance?
Scheduling alliance.
I have no idea. Does Florida State go independent? They won't. But I also think that Florida State has openly and repeatedly talked about private money changing their situation. And if they somehow do the impossible and find a way out of the Grant of Rights, I could see a situation where they have, sugar daddies financing their ability to have a scheduling alliance with the Big 12.
Well, and
I could see that.
That angle is sort of the next, it would be the next option, if you will, if Florida State wanted to leave the ACC bad enough. If you wanted to leave the ACC bad enough, what's your simple way out that flows with the agreement you've signed? Well, your exit fee, right? Now, we all know that the exit fee is egregious. We all know that, hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars to get out of the ACC. But if we start to scale that and you think about, hey, if, some kind of private equity partner got involved, let's say hedge funds started getting involved in college football. Let's say that Florida State was able to build a relationship with a $1 billion valued company some way, somehow. Now, all of a sudden, 500 mil seems like not very much money. And that's where I'm saying that I think people in college football need to understand that the ways you used to do business are no longer going to get the job done.
Correct.
And I'm not saying that Florida State tomorrow is somehow going to find a way out of the ACC. But what I am saying is that at some point, this strategy of trying to leave the ACC through the courts will come to an end, because you're not going to do that. It's not. If that was going to happen, it would have happened. If you were going to find a way out, there's some loophole in the paperwork.
Yeah, that's my opinion too. It's been too long. You've spent too much. You spent too much money already.
So if you're not going to do it that way, and obviously the Grant of Rights still has 10, 12 years on it. Your agreement still has.
Is that all?
Yeah, is that all right? You still have 10, 12 years in this conference on paper. The only other way out is by finding more money, which brings me back to the SEC part of the conversation. Do you really think Greg Sankey wants to go ahead and roll up into the Super League and lose his leverage on the entire landscape of college football?
But
that's what it would be.
But I also think your point that you've been making for a year now, since if you go back to last fall when the Pac-12 melted down, we were talking about this. This thing with Florida State's reputation, I'll give you a lot of credit on that. I didn't think that carried a lot of water. Apparently it does, because it's been no secret. They're a black sheep in the ACC. There's no doubt about it. They are not well liked. They are not well respected. They have the language they have used in their court filings about SMU, Stanford, and Cal is a great example of that, which I think you've referenced previously. I think it's very interesting that Florida State all of a sudden thinks they can write their own ticket. And now we're not the only ones anymore talking about how they're going to have reputation issues.
Yeah, I mean, and I just think that you can't have it both ways. You can't be a pain in the ass and then not win. Like, you can be like Georgia's a great example of this. Georgia wins regularly. Georgia has won national championships. Georgia's beat Nick Saban. Georgia has been one of the dominant pillars on the football field in the last 5 years, and that's why they can get away with, all jokes aside, all this nonsense with their reckless driving situation. It's why you don't hear anything about that. And then Kirby can just come out and say, well, the collective is finding these guys, and that's out of my control, which is an absolute ridiculous answer out of Kirby Smart on that. But nobody says 2 words because Kirby wins. And that's Florida State's problem. You have to win at a really high level if you want to be a pain in the ass, because winning brings you the money, which brings you leverage. And that's their problem. And
I think when you start hearing guys like Florida State being like, hey, we deserve more money, we're the only ones. And, like Clemson, I don't know that has Clemson, thrown gas on the fire the way Florida State has? Certainly not. And I think Clemson has a Dabo problem more than a reputation problem. I think Florida State has gone out of their way to be an asshole to the ACC. And this is where it comes back to get you.
And for what?
Because I still go back to my original point on this. Taking your partners to court is the worst decision that Florida State has ever made. It was just not the right way to go about this because the price just went up. Nobody's going to want to negotiate with you to let you out. You're not going to get your way because, again, I'll say what I've said now for this entire week. There's no bombshell. There's no hammer in this TV deal with this TV contract between the ACC and ESPN. Because both would have negotiated with Florida State to let them out before letting that come to light. And they've been hard, fast. You're not getting out. There's no, in my opinion, there's no saving grace here. There's no Hail Mary. Unless you win that lawsuit or unless you find 9 other members, you're not getting out. It's as simple as that. And the idea that somehow the Florida State is going to get out of the ACC and join the Big 12, it's pie in the sky.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that your checkmate move is I'm going to leave the ACC and go to the Big 12. Who, and again, I don't know what the future holds, but the Big 12 has distributed significantly less than the ACC, and you're whining and complaining about how little money you make. So your big look at us move is I'm going to go make less money in the Big 12.
Which, again, doesn't help your reputation.
After spending tens of millions of dollars, over $100 million, I was told yesterday, easily.
Come on.
Florida State, through this whole process, has spent over $100 million, allegedly. And they have gotten no closer. They're no closer today than they've ever been from getting out of the Grant of Rights and leaving the ACC.
And that's why
They're
I say,
not.
I mean, what would people say if, next month it came out that Florida State's out of money? Florida State has burned through their coffers. They've burned through, their extra money. Donors are, let's say it came out tomorrow that donors are no longer willing to support this, this very dust chase, this chase of something that's not there. Like, at some point, officials at Florida State are going to wake up one day and it's going to hit them that, yeah, we're not getting out of the Grant of Rights. We're not able to do that.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Look at this story by Ross Dellinger. Did you see this from Ross Dellinger?
No.
Ross,
put it out this morning?
Are you listening to the show? I was told to go look at Ross Dellinger's Twitter. Ross Dellinger has a story out this morning that talks about exactly what I just said. Big brands, lucrative paychecks, high-profile matchups. Greg Sankey acknowledges to Yahoo Sports that his schools are still being enticed with private equity-backed Super League concepts.
20 minutes ago, we tweeted that. And we've been doing the show 37 minutes.
That's crazy to me. And this is while that's not exactly what I said, what I'm telling you is there is a divide in the SEC over how to go forward. And there is, whether or not it is how many games should we be playing? How many non-conference games? How much money? Should we go private equity? Should we join a super league? And what does this tweet tell you about Greg Sankey? And I think Ross Dellinger is one of the best college football reporters.
Yeah.
Still being enticed with private equity-backed super league concepts.
Okay, so the what we're really talking
That's
about
wild.
inside this tweet and inside this conversation, specifically for the SEC, because this doesn't apply to other conferences, in my opinion, but could be wrong. For the SEC, the question is very simple. Do you bring in the private equity in a way where it's just going to support your conference more? Like, so, hey, you can spend on individual schools, you can spend at the conference level, and you're going to stay inside the structure that you currently have in place with the NCAA and the college football playoff and all that. Or do you go full, like crazy and try to separate from the NCAA, try to launch your own league, if you will, like basically take your conference and remove it from the NCAA, and do that because you have, again, much like Florida State, that what I was just saying, you have hundreds of millions of dollars coming in from private equity. And so money's not really the issue anymore. The issue now becomes, hey, how do we gain the national respect that our conference is actually the best, and whoever wins our conference would be the national champion, if you will.
I don't remember who it was we were talking about, but whoever the guy, it might have been McMurphy or Dellinger, whoever tweeted Super League is dead.
It was Ross.
I mean, there's still time to delete that tweet, because I'm telling you, as I've told you, the Super League is not dead. I talk to people all the time who believe that the Super League will happen in the next 2 years after this contract is over with the college football playoff. Notice it wasn't a 5-year extension, right? I think you're looking at, with tweets like this, with tweets like this, you're looking at the future. You're looking at exactly what we have been trying to tell you. There is no point in melting down. And I think most members of the ACC, including Notre Dame, understand this. There's no point in causing chaos when the entire world is going to change in 2 years. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And I wouldn't be surprised if we are playing Super League football in 2029, 2030. I would not be surprised if that's the case. I think you're looking at a scenario, and it is going to take, I think it is going to take a significant amount of time to make a Super League happen. Because you're going to have to get a lot of ducks in a row. You're going to have to get a lot of people. You're going to have Greg Sankey or somebody like him become the commissioner of college football. And I think football will become its own individual thing. I think that the NCAA will not, everybody keeps saying that the NCAA is going to die. The NCAA is not going to die. They're just not going to govern football anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's stuff like this that really lets you know what you don't know. Because behind the scenes, trust me when I say, there you go.
April 5th.
If they were interested, they would not have signed the college football playoff deal. The proposal died, at least for now, when the college football playoff was executed.
And
it's not dead.
If you take the banner down, Ross also tweets below that, and this is the thing that I think got him in a little bit of saltiness right there at the bottom where he says, didn't think this had to be said, but here we are. So,
I'm telling you now, and you look at Pete Nakos. I don't know who that is, by the way. SEC head football coach told On3 that he discussed the Super League idea with his athletic director Wednesday night and agreed the idea has a tough road ahead. It's nothing. My AD told me it's DOA.
Pete Nakos is a college sports business and transfer portal reporter for On3.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. I am telling you now that I think this tweet right here is game changing. I think this tweet right here is and I don't know how to say it, as flatly as I can say it. I think this tweet right here is what I have been talking about for the better part of a year, and certainly in the last 6 months, when I have told you they are actively trying to figure out, they are actively discussing and negotiating how to make a Super League work.
Yep.
And you'll remember how many people said the heinous things that people said that were stupid and you guys don't know what you're talking about, and there's no way that a Super League like this could work. There's just no way a Super League could work. Okay, well, again, I'm just asking you. When you guys tell me I don't know what I'm talking about and I don't have sources, bro, trust me, bro, what does this mean then? If this doesn't mean when you have the commissioner of the SEC,
most powerful guy in college football,
saying this right here, that his members are being enticed, and I've just told you, multiple sources have told us the SEC has a fracture about vision. The vision of the future is split in the SEC because most of those universities in the SEC, the power brands in the SEC, and I can tell you Georgia, Alabama, are certainly, I think, Ole Miss, and I know almost factually from talking to people at the University of Texas, they want a Super League. The biggest brands in this here conference want a Super League. So go ahead and again tell me that a Super League is dead on arrival. Because I'm telling you, a Super League is not dead on arrival. A Super League is alive and well. And the way that Super League happens is private money and big, big sponsorship deals. Where you're talking about, and one of the reasons I think that the Big 12, and I had this exact conversation a couple of weeks ago, one of the reasons the Big 12 hasn't found an equity partner for naming rights at this exact moment in time is because I think the biggest brands, the Coca-Colas of the world, I think the Chevrolets of the world, the Fords, the Rams, the people who spend hundreds of millions of dollars marketing in college football, they know what's coming.
Yes.
And so if you're going to sign a 10-year deal with the Big 12, is it really a 10-year deal?
Who are you, the ACC?
Because, quite frankly, there's no such thing as 10-year deals in college football anymore. You, in my opinion, if you sign the All-State Big 12 deal, that's a 3 to 5 year deal. Because you just don't know what the future is going to hold.
And I think that if you just take, if you take folks at their actions, but, what we've heard out of media days from the Big 12 and the SEC so far, I think if you read between the lines, read the tea leaves, read the writing on the wall, yeah, things like not doing a naming rights deal, that's not in Brett Yormark's ilk, right? Like Brett Yormark is a guy that makes money and does deals and gets things done. We know that based on his prior behavior and his track record. So to not do that deal, that's one of the first things that we had kind of talked about out of Big 12 media days is that there's a reason that deal didn't get done. It's not because they couldn't come to an agreement. It's that, they can see what's coming. And I think that this divide in the SEC is what you should be paying attention to because Greg Sankey is the commissioner of the SEC, and in my opinion, the most powerful guy in college football, has a responsibility to make sure that if they do go the private equity, private money route, that they do it in a way that's responsible and reliable. Because the last thing you can have happen is, hey, Super League, everything's amazing, new car, and then that thing falls on its face in 3 years.
And the other thing that I think, and I think then we got to get to your comments, because I think this is fascinating to me anyway. I want to know what you guys think about this. But I think that what would Greg Sankey say here? Because is he really in a position to say, yeah, the Super League's coming, man? I thought it was a foregone conclusion. He's not going to say that. When you look at Ross's tweet in this story, and I obviously haven't read it yet. It happened during the show, but big brands, lucrative paychecks, and high-profile matchups. Greg Sankey acknowledges to Yahoo Sports that his schools are still being enticed by private equity-backed Super League concepts. His message to them is clear: we can do this ourselves.
Don't need the NCAA.
What else would he say? Oh, no. Well, bro, yeah, Super League's coming, bro.
By the way.
Oh, yeah, there's private money's coming, bro.
Again, look at the timeline. Look at the timeline that's just taken place. For all you folks who don't follow it as close as we do, I think it's a really clear timeline happening here. Big 12 Media Days happen. Brett in his opening speech does not announce the all-state deal that everyone thought was going to come out. And then what do we get? Kyle Whittingham saying, hey, we're going to get an NFL minor league model. And now what do we have? The Ross tweet. So don't tell me that this stuff isn't coming down the pipe.
What Kyle Whittingham said to 365 Sports on the heels of the Witt's comment about that, and now Sankey's tweet. Tell me Kyle Whittingham, the head coach at Utah, isn't foreshadowing the future.
So much change already, and there's more on the horizon. I can tell you that. We're not done. I think it's ultimately going to get to 2 super conferences and their own playoff system, and probably break away from the NC2A, have a commissioner and all. An NFL minor league model, I think, is where we're heading in that regard.
And by the way, I think the only question that's left is because again, my opinion is that this is an inevitability for the sport. The sport needs a more efficient way to handle money, handle paying players, handle, doing $100 million deals or multi-$100 million deals with, the companies he was just saying, like Ford, Chevy, Coke, Allstate, whoever you want to point to. And the sport needs a way to get rid of modeling to decide who wins and loses or who gets that opportunity to play the game. And I think that this morning we've talked about how Florida State's a huge pain in the ass. The Florida State situation is not good for anybody in the sport. It's not good for Florida State, not good for their conference. It's not good for any other conference, and it's not good for the direction that the sport is heading.
Not at all.
So how do you get rid of that? Oh, I know. You create, as Witt just said, an NFL minor league model where, hey, Florida State, you don't have a quarterback. You still want to play the game? Georgia's happy to beat your ass by 50. That's fine. We can decide it on the field.
How come nobody else has talked about them modeling it after the NFL?
Oh, that's right. Once again, the quote unquote hacks on YouTube who don't know anybody. Yeah, we had this story beat too. So I'm still waiting for all the assholes who rolled into Dude's Twitter over here and into our comment section to show up in today's show, as I always say.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Your thoughts? Is the Super League on the way? Did Greg Sankey tell Ross Dellinger that essentially a Super League is on the way?
Well, I think again, just my opinion, love to hear what you guys think, but I think we've graduated from is it on the way. You don't get a tweet like that saying, hey, our members are still being enticed. Because that's the thing that stands out to me in that tweet. It says are still being enticed. So you're making it out like, hey, private money is still chasing us. Like they're the dog chasing the car known as college football. And it's like, did you think that they were not going to keep chasing you? They want to invest. That's why the Super League has legs, because private money sees the hey, we spend $1, we get $10 back opportunity. And folks like Greg Sankey and the SEC just need to figure out how to give that to private money so then they can make more money. Like, it's not hard to understand, guys.
Private money isn't going to invest in college football for no return.
Yeah.
But here's the truth about people like Georgia, Bama, Texas, the big brands. They're not going to pay these NIL settlements and just lose money. So They're going to take that private money. They're going to take larger branding deals. They're going to take larger TV deals in a Super League, and they're going to recoup their money and then some.
Yep.
That's what this comes down to. Your thoughts are always welcome. The Monty Show, our comment section every day, is brought to you by our good friends at Prize Picks. I'm on a heater. Boys. I'm telling you, download the Prize Picks app right now. Use the promo code Monty to get your 100% deposit matching. Dude, I love it. The Open Championship is tomorrow. It tees off in England. I am crushing on golf right now. I crushed on the All-Star game that I did not watch a single pitch of last night. Won myself $77.
Doll hairs
On Prize Picks. Thank you, Shohei.
Yeah.
Oh, your mama, Tani.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me win my gambling. That's what I love about Prize Picks. Tonight, Caitlin Clark is 16 rebounds and assists. I'm going to take that. She's 20.5 points. Think I might take that, right? Like you look at what Prize Picks offers you. It's a pretty straight proposition.
Yeah, Bronny for one made 3 today. How about that?
Caitlin Clark, 29.5 points and assists, more or less. That's it. That's your only question. I'm telling you, here's the formula to win money, and I think it's tried and true, and it's proven. Here's why I win pretty regularly on Prize Picks. You play 3. What you do is you pick 3. Caitlin Clark, 29.5 points and assists. I'm going to take more on that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm going to take the Cubs will never score another run. Less.
Right.
They'll be negative. And I'm just going to take 3 of those. And if you go 2 of 3, you win because you went flex play, which means all you have to do is win 2 or 3 to cash. You bet $20, you'll win $31.25 on 2 or 3. 2 of 3. That's it. I'm telling you, super easy formula. Hook it up with the Summer League here. Summer League is fantastic. WNBA with Caitlin Clark is fantastic. I routinely win on golf. But in golf, it's birdies or better. Will Rory McIlroy have 11 birdies or better? Well, I'm going to take, no, he's going to have less than 11 birdies. He's going to have more than 11. Like, it's so straightforward and simple. It's why Prize Picks is America's favorite fantasy game. Tens of millions of people play Prize Picks every day. Why aren't you? Hook it up, download Prize Picks app, use the promo code Monty to get 100% deposit matching. Brandon Bootlair.
Mr. College Football 25.
Gets 5 Monty Show memberships. Brandon, appreciate you. Nick Lovick gives us $1 hair.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. You guys really should consider becoming a member of the show on days like this where we've already got well over 1,000 comments in the comment section today. We are going to read member comments, and probably that's going to be it. We'll read a couple of non-member comments, but if you want your comments read, it's $2 a month. All you have to do is hit join. For $2 a month, we'll read all your comments. For $10 a month, you get into our members-only Instagram chat group that is fantastic. Well, we talk about sports all the time. We talk about life. We talk about Donald Trump's assassination attempt. We talk about your mom and how great her ass looked yesterday. Like, we talk about Anyway, we tend to talk about everything in the members-only group chat. It's a great group of dudes. Tanner's in there, so you're going to have to deal with that too. But hit the like button. Consider joining our membership. Let's hear from you, James, who is a member, stadium guy and loves Buc-ee's. FSU and Clemson need to relax, wait 2 years, and then hello Super League. I think that's probably where we're going.
There's complications because, again, for those two, you can't tell me the ACC is just going to be like, yeah, you guys can jump out the conference for the Super League. Sure. Right? That's why the SEC wants to do it themselves, because if they can do it as a conference, you don't have TV deal issues. You don't have grant of right issues, and you can just move along.
Yep, totally agree. Big Blue Horses. FSU has always been exhausting and self-important. Most of the state of Florida doesn't like FSU. Do you guys agree with Brett McMurphy's tweet here? Because I think this is significant. The Big Ten and the SEC don't want FSU because it doesn't make financial sense. No appetite to expand, and, quote, they've been a disruptive partner. Sources told Brett McMurphy.
Yeah.
I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think it makes a hell of a lot of sense. And I think it is very interesting that FSU finds itself in a terrible spot. And Seminole Nation, I love you guys. I appreciate your passion in the comments section. But you're in a bad spot here, because if this is in fact true, you're damaged goods.
Yeah.
You're damaged good. Tanner Plummer, I don't think there's a huge difference between complaining about the college football playoff and having a high number of players involved in problems with the law. I do think there's a huge difference. Well, I think you look at Florida State's biggest issue is they won't shut up. And it's Ron DeSantis, the state attorney general, when very clearly nobody cares. No, very few people outside of Seminole Nation think that Florida State belonged in the college football playoff last year. Your quarterback, and I would also point out, was hurt in meaningless minutes. Right? The college football playoff committee is not the one who said, yeah, leave Jordan Travis in a vulnerable spot. That was you. You're the one who put yourself in that position. There's accountability on that. You know, like I don't buy it. I truly do not buy it on a very large level. That I think Florida State's made a lot of its problems. Mike Smith, I do not see any ads. It's well worth it if you watch a good deal of YouTube. Oh, YouTube Premium?
Premium's gas, dude.
I don't know how that conversation got started. I love YouTube Premium. I think it is. I think it's amazing. And yeah, it is. I would say that YouTube Premium is worth every penny of it. It truly is. Let's see. Dakota Tubbs. Mike and his glorious beard are correct. Just get YouTube Premium, whoever is having a problem. Are you guys seeing a lot of ads?
Yeah, who complained about ads? Like, what was?
Yeah, if you're because we have a lot of people watching the show today, and there's a lot of people. Hit the like button, please. That always helps the show grow.
We've had in our control, by the way.
Yeah, we've had well over 1,000 views today, and only 46 likes. We always try to get to 100 likes during the live show, but we have no control over how many ads you see.
Yeah,
we have, what are we? I think we're over 100 and are we at 106,000 or something, or 105,000 subscribers on YouTube? 106,123 subscribers on YouTube. Like it's a thing where success breeds contempt. So I apologize if you're having a bad ad experience, but YouTube Premium is worth every penny. A U.S. appeals court in PA ruled last Thursday that college athletes who benefit their schools may qualify as employees. I don't think this is part of this conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think these kids want to be employees. I think they want to get paid. And I think they would far more rather be 1099 contract workers than employees. So you can have certain universities that their athletes unionize. Hey, that's great. But what is the long-term benefit of that, especially in a one-and-done scenario? That to me is a conversation. OG Gary, hello. Super League will happen whether they go willingly or kicking and screaming. See, and I agree with that. I think it's not a matter of if, but when.
Yeah.
Private money's coming, dude. Private money's coming. It's this whole thing that Jake was talking about collectives finding their players. You signed up for this. The unintended consequences.
Yep.
You want to get DUIs? That's going to the conundrum for you is you're going to have to pay your collective back some of that contract. It's just the reality of it. You want to get in trouble? You sign contracts. Remember, you asked for where you wanted to be able to make money. Well, now you're making money. Oh, that's right. You just don't want accountability. Well, guess what? As I continue to tell you, private money, which is what collectives are, they're not doing it for free, man. They want you to win games. They want you to play in games and win games, and they want to make money off you. And I don't have a problem with that. But the unintended consequences is what you're paying for, whether you want to or not. It's as simple as it is. Mike Smith, Monty's sources are Chef, did you mean Boyardee, and Groton's fisherman. Hey, man, I love a good fish stick. Hell yeah. Dakota Tubbs, what a shock. You brought in Texas, and now there's a rift in the conference. Come on, man.
A Missouri fan.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Be better.
You got to be kidding me. Oak State James, it's Wednesday. White gummy deer bucked up while listening about Florida State being knotheads. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Did you guys take advantage of Bucked Up's 50% off sale the last 2 days? Whew. So many people made out. It was amazing. Whittingham is old and senile. Far from it. Far from. Who is he? The president of the United States? I predicted it 12 years ago first. There you go.
See? There you go.
Stay hard.
There
you go. UW fan Jim Roma Dunze signed his contract with the Chicago Bears.
Stay hard.
Question. What's the difference between the Super League and the Conference of Champions? Great show as always. Exactly. The Conference of Champions.
Damn, bro.
Okay.
Well, they have one thing in common. Neither of them exists. So,
Monty Show has the best basic membership rates versus other top college football shows. Appreciate that. We're not trying to, you guys understand. We don't make money on our memberships. Like, you look at this new studio we built. Do you think that was cheap? How do you think we paid for that? How do you think we have state-of-the-art cameras?
Well, we have a behind-the-scenes Super League, so.
Yeah, we have private equity, right?
Yeah.
No. Hey, we pared down our advertisers because people said we had too many advertising partners. How do you think we pay for that? We pay for all the stuff you see, these awesome cameras, and they are awesome. They are not cheap. Your memberships pay for that. Your memberships pay for all of this equipment, the best microphones. Your memberships pay for that. So we appreciate you supporting the channel. Thank you. John Hamm, when I see this Sankey tweet, I read it as yes to a Super League, but he believes they can do it without PE. I don't think you can do anything Super League without private equity. I think that's what PE, unless you mean gym class. I don't think, do they have gym class in the SEC? I know they have recess. I'm a dick. Which I think is better in the long run as well. Do it without private money. You can't do it without private money.
I don't think you can, dude.
You know,
I just don't know how that works.
Chad Carter. Heard you guys say something about hacks on YouTube. Stop talking about Dakota Tubbs that way. Wow. Bang, bang, bitches.
Damn.
Wow. Tanner Plummer, LOL, I say something was old news and you act like I just punched your moms. Well,
because, dude, it was
Tanner,
a little harsh, bro.
Tanner, can you just own up to the fact that pretty often you can be a dick and pretty often your words come out with sting in them and you very rarely will say, oh, my bad. Sorry about that, guys.
I mean, you're not technically wrong. I mean, it was a couple hours old, but most people in the chat, they check in after work.
I don't even remember what the story was, but Tanner ripped, I think it was Dakota Tubbs, which in and of itself, you're taking your life in your hands. Dakota Tubbs, let's say, I think it was, posted a story that had already been posted in the chat like 6 hours ago. But the problem is
Aiyuk requesting a trade.
Brandon Aiyuk. The problem is most of us have lives outside of the group chat. So when you get into
after Gary.
Oh, it was OG Gary.
Yeah.
You get into the chat, you're not going back and reading what somebody posted 6 hours ago. Dude, that chat is lit all day long.
Yeah.
So it's not like you.
Well, and here's the problem.
Come on, man.
This is partially Gary's fault too, because Gary's a fan of like 100 teams.
Correct.
So when Gary's, reposting a story that, came out in the morning wave of the cycle, and he posts that in the afternoon, is like, oh, well, Brandon wants to go and play with Jalen, the best quarterback anyone's ever seen. You had some heat coming, dude. Like, come on.
Nobody wants to play with Jalen.
Yeah.
Mike Smith, your news is old news, Tanner. Everybody knows about the soaking incident. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, come on.
Dak, you're my dude, LOL. Yeah, Dakota's a good dude sometimes.
Kubinsky.
Pretty rarely. Jeremiah Champion. You can't say his name normally. Try it. I wonder if you can make a Super League in the NCAA. I wonder. In college football 26. Yes, Jeremiah. Exactly. I bet you can. I would guess. Monty Show has an OnlyFans channel. That's how they paid for the new studio. We're going to talk about OnlyFans later in the show. You wait. Dakota Tubbs. Guys. Did you hear that Brandon Aiyuk requested a trade? No, I hadn't heard that. No, Mike. Mrs. Monty has the OnlyPans account. Stop. We can watch her cook all the healthy meals Monty talks about, dude. She made a succotash at lunch yesterday that was pretty amazing. Her succotash is pretty good. Eric Wasikowski. What's up?
Nice logo, bro. Come on.
Are you a MAGA guy? I didn't realize that. I had no idea that Eric Wasikowski was a MAGA guy. Who knew?
With all due respect.
Eric and Raleigh, Big 32 and SEC, exactly. Brandon Butler, all day long. By the way, did you see the dunk by that Minnesota player? Lopes fan Gabe, hello. Hit the like button. Yes, please. John, the group chat is amazing. $10. Hit the join button. Hit the exclusive content. DM Jake. He will put you into the members only Instagram chat. It's well worth it. Tanner should be a little careful, or Boss Frog will come back and have another round with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Boss Frog left the members only group because Tanner was tannering. Yeah. Conundrum is exactly right. It's ironclad. FSU, they just need to focus on fixing up their stadium.
Why? So you can make more YouTube content, bro?
Down. Hey man,
Marty.
I'm over here at Buc-ee's in the Panhandle, in the slums of Tallahassee. You guys got to see this stadium build, bro. I mean, I have never seen a stadium that's got seminal fluid all over it like they do here at Florida State. It's really remarkable.
Yeah, make seminal fluid great again, you know?
Jeremiah, I get the game tomorrow. I'll let you know. There you go.
See?
Big Blue Horses. If I join the members only chat, do I get a loaner phone?
No,
you don't.
No, dude.
You
Sorry.
Don't. Lopes fan Gabe, who's been a member for 18 months. Suck a what now, Morty? Exactly right. Tanner Plummer. So when a certain arrogant TCU alum makes it a federal case about me not paying attention to what happens in Alaska, nobody panics. But when I say something is old news, everyone loses their mind.
Schemers trying to control their little worlds.
Tanner, you have a certain way about putting your thumb up somebody's ass, and it really is.
It's all part of the plan.
And it really is remarkable. Y'all hear about the Lori trade? Exactly.
No, I hadn't heard anything about that, dude.
What?
Bro,
what?
Lori is getting Lowry is getting traded?
Lowry's the prime rib?
Whoa.
Do you guys even watch Jazz basketball? And the best part is everybody comes out on Twitter and like people will text me. Friends of mine will text me and they're like, dude, what did you do to this guy? And they'll be like, hey, you fat ass, you don't know anything about the Jazz. The Jazz would never trade Lowry. And by the way, say his name right.
I'll never forget, dude, when the Rudy thing was going down a couple of years ago, and we said Rudy Gobert, people were like, say his name right. Say his name right. You own that.
Bagsnatchovich is not how it's pronounced. It was amazing. It was amazing. Let's see. MAGA boy. Been a busy summer when your workplace gets blown away from a tornado. What did I miss? Oh, wow.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
Sorry to hear that. Dakota Tubbs. Yeah, suck it, Morty. Per Lopes fan. That's right. SOS double D's. Okay. Okay. KU number 1 gives us $10. I predicted weeks ago FSU and Clemson to the Big 12. Your mark is a shark. He took what he wanted from the Pac-12. He'll do the same with the ACC, UNC, Duke, Florida State, and Clemson. Okay. Okay, listen. Well,
Marty, Rock Chalk Jayhawk, man, come on.
Wow. the thing that I appreciate so much is that you took $10 out of your crack fund and donated it to the show.
I love that show.
Clearly. I'm telling you that K-State's better than Kansas.
Dude.
Wait, no, different
And kick
show.
a person when he's down.
Different show, my bad.
Where are we at in society today?
I'm telling you that Brett Yormark didn't take what he wanted as though he pounced on the Pac-12 like a bitch. That's not what happened. I'm just a little turned up right now.
Right.
What I'm telling you is things broke perfectly, and Brett Yormark put himself in a position to have the desired outcome. He is doing the same thing in the ACC. And now, as we reported 3 months ago, and now everybody's running with it, so it must be true, Brett Yormark and his emissaries have spoken to just about every member of the ACC. I told you 3 months ago they were very passionate about Duke and North Carolina, that they have spoken to Louisville, that the Big 12, I think, really would like to add the Virginia schools, Pitt, Louisville, Duke, and Miami, I think would be ideal because I think they understand they're not getting North Carolina. And I don't believe they can end up with Duke.
Yep.
And I don't believe that the ACC is going to melt down and disappear. I think that is a very unlikely outcome. Because where are you going to go? If you are Notre Dame, and I think, and not because I'm a Notre Dame fan, but ask yourself this question. If you are Notre Dame, what's the upside of you voting to melt down the ACC?
Notre Dame, our mother.
Does it help you with TV money? Certainly it does not. Your deal is with NBC. Okay, does it help you in football? Certainly not. You're an independent. Why would you want to join a conference when you haven't been in a conference, I don't know, ever? And you've had the opportunity. Why would you want that? I cannot stress to you enough that Notre Dame's a perfect example. What's the only reasons? What are the triggers, as I like to say, for Notre Dame to vote to melt down the ACC? Can't schedule, hasn't been a problem. Can't get TV money, hasn't been a problem. Their main trigger will be, what do we do with our non-revenue generating sports? That's a huge problem. Is Notre Dame willing to go without a conference to put their non-revenue generating sports in the Big 12? Probably not. Probably not. Would the SEC love to add Notre Dame? They would, but they're only doing that if they join in football. If Notre Dame's going to join a conference, it's going to be the Big Ten. And there is no reason for Notre Dame to choose violence and vote to melt down the ACC. At this point, there's just no trigger for that.
Facts.
And I'm telling you, again, and I know this always lights people on fire when I say this, bro, the ACC lives and dies on Tobacco Road. And Duke and North Carolina can write their ticket. They can go anywhere they want. If Duke and North Carolina today called the Virginia schools, if Duke and North Carolina today called Wake Forest, if Duke and North Carolina called Georgia Tech, this conference is dead the moment that phone starts ringing. Duke and North Carolina, those are the centers of power in this conference. Tallahassee, Clemson, those are not the center of power.
Clemson.
South Carolina, those aren't. Bro, with all due respect to Clemson, you are not shit right now because you have a Dabo Sweeney problem.
It's probably different than what you're thinking, though.
Again, I know I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a hack on YouTube.
Right.
Clemson has a Dabo Sweeney problem.
And that's how I look at it.
Nobody fears Clemson. Nobody desires Clemson.
It's just not relevant. No one's talking about you. You're just not that guy right now.
There's no way.
But hey, appreciate the tip. Appreciate you sharing your tip.
And maybe you'll be right.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be right.
Yeah.
And when you are right, please come back and tell me how wrong I am.
Feed the crow.
UNC and Duke are never joining the Big 12.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that FSU and Clemson will be joining the Big 12 Because again, and in the general grand scheme of the ACC is melting down. What is the mechanism? What is the mechanism for that to happen? There is no mechanism to melt down the ACC because there's not a single member in that conference that's better off in the Big 12. There's not a single member that is getting full share from the SEC or the Big 10. Imagine being North Carolina and Duke. You're the only ones that can drop a hammer on somebody. But if you're the Virginia schools, I mean, you look up and down the membership of the ACC, there are very few successful programs in that conference. There are very few successful programs in basketball, football, stick and ball sports. There are very few. Like you look at the ACC, that's a basketball conference, which is a real problem. It's the reason that the Big 12 is in the position there because they don't have a blue blood brand in college football. Now that Texas and OU are gone, you don't have a brand. We've talked about this, not to be redundant. We've talked about it. Tanner Plummer, I posted something that was old news and I was called out on it. If y'all wouldn't have a problem, y'all are hilarious. Well, dude.
Bro, you gotta stop. Okay, listen to me, dude. We're done with this conversation. You want to constantly point out hypocrisy and you get treated differently. Okay, cool, dude. If that's the hill you want to die on, fine. Go die on that hill. I'm just telling you, if you're gonna be a jag in the chat, you're gonna get called out for it.
You've always had a problem with understanding who you are and where you are.
Like
you have to understand. You are a guy that likes to stick your thumb in people's ass.
It's not old news if it happened this morning and dude posted about it at 3:30. That's not old news.
People
it's the
have
same day.
lives. I'm assuming OG Gary has a job.
Yeah.
Do you know that I am in the chat not regularly during the day? I'm super busy all day long. So if something happens and I post an old story, I would hope that people wouldn't be like, "Oh, what an idiot. This is old news." Come on, man. Like, we talk about this with politics and the Trump stuff all the time. Why do you have to attack people? Why do people have to attack people? I've never understood it. Man, I wish I had access to the drugs KU #1 has. We got to have a meeting in KC, bro. I want what you're smoking.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Hysterical. Zona Knights. I've never heard of you. Y'all bums owe. Okay. What do we owe?
What the hell does that even mean?
I don't know what that means.
Do you speak English, dude? Like,
I have no idea what y'all bums owe.
What does that mean?
Oh, what?
Hold on. Whoa. Go back to that comment. This is an Arizona fan saying we owe something? Last time I checked, you were the one who was like $240 million.
Yeah. My prediction, according to Oak State James, for $5. He loves Buc-ee's, by the way.
Right.
My prediction, more schools will take out benches and put in folding chairs like FSU.
I mean, again, it gets to a point on some days with you, bro, where I can't tell if you're trolling or if this is a genuine take.
P.S. Starting my doctorate of ministry next year at TCU. Go, bro.
So let me get this right. Hold on a second. So
who are you, OG Gary?
Yeah, like, hold on. Your wife's a Baylor fan. You're an
a Baylor alum, fan, I believe.
Alum, whatever. Like, your affiliation was with those two schools, and now you're going to TCU? Gary, I've had enough of your bullshit in this chat.
If Yormark can get a big sponsorship, there is a 1% possibility of adding 2 ACC schools. If you believe that, I'm dating Amy Adams. Not a chance. No, because she's a Texas fan. Horns down. That's not an unsportsmanlike flag. Stop it.
What?
MAGA boy. Notre Dame finally joins a conference on Friday. Okay, there you go. College football 25. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I think it is. I think it's one of those things where when you look at this Florida State situation and you look at what I just think it's really interesting now that we're in a completely different set of circumstances. Like the rules are different. And the Brett McMurphy tweet about melting down, I think or having a bad reputation.
Yeah.
I think is so interesting. They've been a disruptive partner. That you have a guy like Brett McMurphy being told that FSU is a disruptive partner after we've told you that FSU has a reputation problem
For months, dude. I mean, this goes back to like October, November.
It's starting to take shape. It is very difficult when you have this kind of dynamic at play. It's very difficult. RA, they are talking about FSU. Who's RA?
A guy commenting above somewhere.
RA. Adios, unsubscribe. Okay. Well, thanks for coming. What are you upset about? Used to watch this channel until all the fake annoying video titles.
Okay, so how are the video titles fake and annoying?
The title today, a stunning new Florida State football report.
What are we talking about?
What have we been talking about for an hour and 22 minutes now?
Like, what do you like? This is what it, like, and I love the assertion again. I always like to point this out.
I just don't care.
Like, you think that unsubscribing is like the end of the world to us. Do you understand that when you have 106,000 subs, that you have, you're picking up 700 subs and then a few people unsubscribe? Like, it's part of the game, dude.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah, man. Like, if you think that people subscribe and then are just subscribed for life, like, that's not how it works. That's not how human beings are. So if you don't like the title because we're talking about what we titled the show, I'm not sure how we can help you.
Yeah, sorry, dude. Damian Fowler. That's right. There is why I don't join the chat. Just saying. What do you mean? That is
Yeah,
right.
what do you mean by that, bro?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Yeah.
No, my wife is a TCU. So now you guys are a TCU grad, but a Baylor fan and an Oak State. You graduated Oak State, and now you're going to TCU. Okay, how are you going to reconcile Oak State, TCU, and Baylor?
So is your child going to be a Rice fan then, or like what are we?
No, an SMU fan because they own
SMU
Dallas.
fan. Like, what are we looking at?
It says on their jerseys that they own Dallas at SMU. So, wow, Stone is their quarterback, and have you seen the tone in his thighs, bro? Oak State James is a massive Stone fan. The starting quarterback at SMU. SMU. Dakota Tubbs can confirm, James, I'm a nut and want the ACC to melt down for shits and giggles.
Well, at least you own it. See, I can respect that.
OG Gary, it's a character we play on the show. It's not real.
Yeah, what? Okay, what?
It's
why?
not
I don't
real,
understand.
man.
Where does that come from?
I think all the different schools. Amy Adams, she's not Luca's mom, but she'll do.
Well,
Amy Adams is.
Stay home, bro.
You're fired. So now we gotta call you Dr. James or Dr. Stadium Guru. I ain't
Who
doing
loves
it.
Buc-ee's?
Cam Harrison, what's up, my guy? Good to see you. Monty, did I miss your Gundy interview? I hope not. Mike Gundy doesn't do interviews with anybody that won't slurp his knob. What do you like? Yeah. He ain't coming on this show. No, Gary, you can call me James. Oh, you're so humble.
James, I'm glad you found someone new, dude.
So
I mean,
humble.
I know our breakup was tough on you, but
you're so humble.
Yeah.
I love you. OG Gary, appreciate you, James.
See, Gary and James being together, isn't that a nice combo?
Let's cuddle. RA must be an FSU fan, maybe.
I guess.
Willie Wilson. Today is Human Resources Day on the Monty Show. Okay. We'll see. James. Gary, you rock. It's okay if you like more than one team. No, it's not. No, it's not. I don't know. I have no idea. That's a couple more than we should get to. We call James Padre. Yeah, we will call James Padre, our Father, who art in Stillwater. Hallowed be Mike Gundy's name. Thy kingdom come, we'll never go to the playoff.
I'm a man.
In the SEC as it is in heaven.
So get your facts straight.
That's the best I can do. I've said the Our Father over 1 million times in my life as a recovering Catholic, and that's the best I can do. I try to help. I do try to help, which is why I stood in my backyard last night for like 10 hours working on my iron swing. If you follow me on Insta, Snap, Face, TikTok, you saw I'm working on that swing. Now, I'm going through a little withdrawal from golf because I will actually be out of town this weekend. I'll be in Boston watching the Foo Fighters perform at Fenway Park. You're jealous, and that's fine. I will be out of town, unable to play Canyons golf this weekend. And I love that place. It is challenging and beautiful. It is lush. The greens will make you pull your hair out. But there is nothing like hitting 325-yard bombs on the 17th tee and just watching that ball draw around the corner. Dog leg left last Sunday. I hit an absolute bomb to 100 or 98 yards was the distance uphill. And then smoked a 54 over the back of the green. Still birdied it because it's a par 5, but
yeah.
There's nothing like playing mountain golf. If you guys are fans of mountain golf, make sure you get to Park City Mountain Resort, where they offer you Canyons golf at Park City Mountain. It is awesome. Like I always say, it is challenging, but you'll love it. If you're somebody that loves hitting majestic wedge shots, there's nothing better than hitting your 50-degree 110 yards within a foot of the hole. I don't know anything about that because I don't do that. But it is wildly entertaining golf. My favorite thing there is that pretty much every driver swing is majestic. You're watching a ball, whether it is on, their third hole is a 600-yard par 5, where you have a long shot against the mountains on the left, condos on the left, mountain on the right. Like, it's just a beautiful drive. You hit that drive 270 yards into a 4-wood that you hit about 290 yards. And I mean, it's just fun to hit shots in that environment. And the actually making putts on the back 9 last week. Then I had a moment of trepidation last week. The 16th hole is a par 3 that's about 140 yards. I took out a pitching wedge and hit this beautiful draw, and it stayed on the green by like an inch. Knocked down like a 25-foot putt for birdie.
That's what I do, man.
That's what I do.
That's what I do.
That's why you got to work on those drives. I probably swung my irons last night 100 times. Feeling pretty good about the way I'm hitting the irons right now. Can't wait to get back to Canyons golf next weekend. Hook it up. Tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Good morning if you're just tuning in. Some pretty significant news this morning out of college football. Obviously, Brett McMurphy last night saying the Big Ten and SEC have no interest to add Florida State. If it leaves the ACC and the ACC stays intact, as we've been talking about for the better part of an hour now. Florida State has a reputation problem, which we've talked about on the show. Brett McMurphy says, quote, they've been a disruptive partner, end quote, according to his sources. I think that is spot on. And then this morning during the show, Ross Dellinger, I think this is the story of the morning. This right here, I think, is the biggest college football story of the morning. Big brands, lucrative paychecks, high-profile matchups. Greg Sankey acknowledges to Yahoo Sports that his schools are still being enticed with private equity-backed Super League concepts. I think it is very, very telling that Greg Sankey talked to Ross Dellinger about this, and he said, we can do this ourselves. I think this right here is a story you got to pay attention to, because I will continue to die on the hill that the Super League's coming, and private money is not a matter of if, but when private money plays a domineering part in the face and the future of college football. I think it is huge. Oak State James says, so if Oak State goes to the playoff, will I get an Amazon gift card? No, there's not a chance in the world. I'm not letting you buy more priest porn books with no. P.S. My wife and I love the Big 12, best conference in football. Okay. I hope that your Texas Tech Red Raiders, pew, pew. James, I hope your Texas Tech Raiders make it this year. It's huge. Mike Smith, Mountain Mama. Gifts a Monty Show membership. I miss the mailman, Aaron. So free membership in his honor. Yeah, Aaron is now
Aaron's
a full-time
been busy,
working,
bro.
responsible human being.
Yeah, dude's been busy.
He is a mailman now. I'm proud of Aaron.
Delivery professional.
Aaron Wilson faces challenges in life, and he has met them head on, and he's a mailman, and I appreciate that. Keith has Iowa State started the construction on the park between the Hilton Coliseum and Jack Trice. There's only one way to keep up with stadium news, and that is Oak State James. Do we have time to do Brandon Aiyuk and his trade demand? I think we can hit that pretty quick, right?
We can do it, yeah.
What do you guys make of this? San Francisco 49er wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk yesterday demanded a trade, as OG Gary so lately posted in the group chat.
Yeah, this is old news, bro.
This is old news. We should move on.
Come on.
Tanner says we can't talk about this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know how the 49ers fix this, but you cannot trade him. Now, it needs to be said that the San Francisco 49ers made it pretty clear they're not going to trade him. I don't know how you fix this, because the 49ers don't want to pay Brandon Aiyuk what he believes he's worth. And Brandon Aiyuk doesn't want to take what the 49ers are offering. And now he's demanded a trade from San Francisco. This is one of those impossible situations where I don't know if you have the ability, to figure out what it is you can do to make this relationship work. But I think if you're the 49ers, you got to figure this out. I think George Kittle is on his way down, not way up. And I think Brandon Aiyuk is one of the fine young receivers in this league. And you look at the receiving position in the NFL, I think you have to have the Justin Jeffersons. I think you have to have the Rome Odunzes, the finest receivers in the NFL under contract. You have to have Brandon Aiyuk on the 49ers, Jake. I don't even think it is something that's negotiable.
Yeah, well, and I think especially when you're running that offense, you need guys like Aiyuk who can do a million different things for your football team. And that's the part that I think the 49ers are grossly discounting, dude. Like with Justin Jefferson, you understand it. That's a more traditional offense. Hey, you got to have wide receivers. Totally get it. Hey, he's one of the best wide receivers in the league, if not the best. Okay, pay the guy. Never really a doubt. The problem for Aiyuk is that Christian McCaffrey is the workhorse of that offense, not Brandon Aiyuk. And Brandon Aiyuk is extremely important to what that offense does,
I would agree.
Because that offense relies on 4 or 5 guys doing a job every play for the offensive play they're running to work. And whether it's Aiyuk's blocking ability, the attention he draws from the defense, like there's a lot of things that he does. So the 49ers don't want to pay him top-end wide receiver money, but at the same time, if you don't pay him top-end wide receiver money, now we're going to have a conversation about McCaffrey getting too many touches because you're going to give him more to compensate. And now you're probably looking at an injury for McCaffrey if you don't extend this guy.
Yeah.
And I hate saying that, but I do think it's the reality of their situation. Like at some point you have to prioritize balance in this offense and understanding that while McCaffrey had a great year last year, injury-free seasons out of Christian McCaffrey are few and far between, especially as a running back in this league.
100%.
So I'm not going to sit here and say that it's smart that they're playing with fire with Brandon Aiyuk. It's not smart. And I don't know. I don't know what you do about this outside of paying the guy, because he's not happy with you. He's demanded a trade, obviously, and you don't want to pay him. So what's it going to be? Are you going to pay him and put this to bed, or are you going to play the whole tag game and let him ride out in free agency? Like I just don't understand why organizations do this, man.
No, I think it's very difficult to deal with. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Lopes Fan Game gives 5 Monty Show memberships. We appreciate that, Lopes, very much. Thank you. I think you cannot trade Brandon Aiyuk. There's just no way. And I think the biggest issue for Brandon Aiyuk is that I think this is why he publicly demanded a trade. He has not a leg to stand on. His performance has been good, but the contracts in the NFL are pretty clear. When you're on a rookie deal, there's not much you're going to do about it. And if the 49ers don't want to trade him, he can sit out and pay massive fines, or he can play on the franchise tag. Because that's where this is headed. This is no different than Saquon Barkley. This is no different than any of the Lamar Jackson issues, any of these other contracts that we have seen. If you perform at a high level as a rookie, you're going to deal with the franchise tag. And he wants his contract renegotiated. They're not going to do that. And I think they're very wise to just hold a hard line. And the CBA does not allow for him to sit out. It does not allow It doesn't
make sense. I mean, you can't do it the way you used to.
He is in a no-win situation.
You're not going to Le'Veon Bell them now. That's not going to work.
I would agree with that.
You're not going to sit here and pay all these fines when if I was Ayuk's representation, if I was the guy advising him, I would tell him to play. Go and play. Don't be a problem for the 49ers. Go and play. Get to free agency and then get paid. Because in free agency, the 49ers don't have a leg to stand on. You're going to pay him and keep one of the better wide receivers in the league, or he's going to get to another squad. And you can't have Brandon Aiyuk going to someone in the division in free agency because you know that those guys in that division are going to be looking for him. You know that a guy like Aiyuk can help a number of Super Bowl caliber teams. And
I think it is. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. No way around it. Lopes fan Gabe, get out of my way, dude.
Seriously.
Miss Aaron Wilson. Yeah, I miss Aaron Wilson. Hope he's doing well. Maybe I'll DM him today. Brandon Butler, wait. Brandon Aiyuk demanded a trade. This is new information. It is. If you were...
Yeah, Brandon, I know that you've been in your cave playing the video games and stuff, but this came out yesterday.
Yep. Phil Venzer says, greedy bastards. What did we do? Were you talking about us? If the 49ers can get 3 draft picks, I would do the trade. Need a tight end, running back, only have 4 to 5 years, get more draft picks. Well, you can never in the NFL have too many draft picks. UW fan Jim says, go Dogs. Phil Venzer, Super League coming, G5 to the toilet. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Oak State James, thank you, Keith. I'll look on YouTube later to see if their webcam is up. Okay.
Now we're talking about webcams in the chat.
Baston Mapes, he is on the 5th year and they can franchise him. You mean Aiyuk? He has 0 leverage. Debo demanded a trade 2 years ago. He's still there. Well, Debo's in a different spot, though. I don't think Debo ever wanted to leave. I think genuinely Brandon Aiyuk wants to leave. He's a guy, OG Gary, who wants to play with your guy JD in Washington.
Yeah,
they're old friends from ASU. I mean, they've talked about that. Kay Nurin, show some love. Hit the like button. I agree. Where are we at on likes today? 3,000 views only, or 2,000 views, 78 likes. We're getting there. We're getting there. Come on, let's go. Hit the like button. Tanner Plummer, who's better, Mapes, Debo or Brandon? Oh, Aiyuk, because he's the asset.
Yeah.
He's younger, period. Niners typically wait way too long to sign their big upcoming free agent. Well, and that saves them money, in my opinion. They've had that policy for a while. There's no doubt. They've had that policy for years. There is a Topper's Pizza just outside of campus. Okay. I love that you're always talking about food. I do. I do love it, which is great. Keith Carl, Purdy still gonna steamroll it all. Okay.
Well, and he's still on his rookie deal.
He is.
I mean, and this is my other thing for the 49ers. You don't have franchise quarterbacks playing on rookie deals very often, man. You got to take advantage of this window you're in.
Jamie Thornton, the ACC might not want FSU to stay. They may push them out. Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
I think that'd be a very hard case to sell to your membership. Lee Jensen, juicy.
Bro.
Good morning. I'm back from my social media detox. I highly recommend it. It's beautiful, isn't it? Juicy. I'll tell you, not being on X very often. The other day I sent some apologies out. I had 1,000 DMs.
A lot.
So I answered like 10 of them and just said, hey, sorry, dude, sorry I missed this. Not engaging on social media.
Yeah.
Now for us, I have to be on social media. I use X a lot. I use Instagram.
If you didn't do the show, what social would you have on your phone?
Probably not much at all. I might have Instagram. I certainly would not have Facebook. I certainly would not have X, Twitter. Probably would not have TikTok, although I think TikTok's as a platform, TikTok is great for golf.
Yeah.
I would not use X ever again if I didn't have to. I think it's a complete waste.
Yeah.
It's a complete waste. So,
yeah,
but it was weird getting into, and I talked about this the other day, getting back into X, like reading a couple of my notifications, and then like all the DM, I had no idea I had that many DMs. And I appreciate all of you who DM me. Just know I'm not ignoring you. I just don't read them.
Yeah.
Because I think Twitter is a cesspool. Interacting on Twitter, reading your notifications. It is like Jazz fans are the worst on Twitter.
Yeah.
They're the Cody Williams love on Twitter is ridiculous. The guy has one game where he's made multiple 3-point shots, and people are like, oh, he's amazing. The guy can't shoot. The guy can't shoot. And until he can, and I hope I'm wrong, but Mike Smith, hard for you guys to be off social media since it's a big part of your business. Almost impossible.
Yeah.
MAGA Boy says, I usually detox during the summer. It's refreshing with everything going. It is. Like the Donald Trump assassination the other day. We had a former president almost lose his life. And the first thing that you're hearing on social media is it was fake and staged. Somebody forgot to tell the guy's skull that was in multiple pieces on that rooftop.
Yeah.
That it was staged. Like the first thing you get now, especially on X, is conspiracy theories.
Everything's fake. Everything's a lie. Nothing's real.
It's a waste. Keith Carl, AOL chats were pretty lit too. AOL. That would be, do you know what AOL stands for?
No.
America Online. Wow. You should try True Social. Never. Not going to happen. Anybody remember ICQ? Vaguely. Loved ICQ. Lopes Fan Gabe, if they really needed to get in touch with you, they'd call or text. And that's what most people do.
You don't have our number. You don't have the right to
There's
get
a
mad at
reason.
us.
Yeah, there's a reason.
You don't know us well enough.
If they don't have your number to call or text, they don't really need to get in touch with you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even TikTok and Instagram, like knowing the damage that Instagram does to kids in our country, whether it is body dysmorphia or confidence issues, or it is, and I use Instagram regularly. I do. It is part of, I have branding deals, and it's part of some of the stuff that we do. I don't love it. I don't, the funny thing is TikTok has become one of the best sources for show prep that is out there. If you just thumb through TikTok for 20 minutes, you'll find 2-3 lifestyle topics to talk about. Not difficult. And I use TikTok regularly. TikTok for golf is great. I haven't put any effort into cracking their algorithm at all or using their creator tools, but TikTok for show prep's great. Is there any possibility that Dallas players could take a pay cut to get the 49ers wide receiver? Come on, the Mavs get Clay. The Mavs got Clay. Did they take a pay cut? I don't think anybody took a pay cut.
Now, what you're referencing is Jalen Brunson taking a pay cut so that they can go out and hunt some free agents.
LeBron leaving millions on the table.
Yeah. Tom Brady.
Guys at that level, Michael Jordan.
Jordan.
Guys at that level, they've made their bread. Hotmail and MSN Messenger were fire. Yes, they were. James, Stephen Catboy Jones is not paying a big salary to a free agent. I love it. Giggity, doesn't James have Jake's number? He does. Tanner Plummer, I'm only on Instagram now these days. It's great. I get news in a timely fashion, although it's late. I mean, that's old news. You're never living that down.
Hey, Tanner, dude, can you define what timely fashion is? I mean, is that like is that inside of 3 hours or like what's that look like?
I still use Twitter occasionally, but I try to stay off. It's a cesspool. I hate Twitter.
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
Twitter. Tanner also says, yes, I was about to say that, Giggity. There you go. No, I don't have Jake's number. It's a professional relationship.
Stay hard.
Dude.
I love you.
Bro,
I love you.
Dude.
I love you so much.
What are we doing? Like,
Father,
Hold on, bro. Like,
Father, our guy, Pastor James.
I love you like the fat kid loves cake.
I love you so much. Let me put icing all over your. No. Dakota Tubbs. Oh, James has more than Jake's number.
Believe it.
Believe it, yo. Believe that. Real quick, I also noticed that several of you have asked me about joining the member chat. This is not a difficult thing. If you guys want to get into the Instagram members only chat, it's pretty straightforward. It is one of those things where all you have to do is
in our members only chat live during the show, Gary put a map of the United States that's covered in bottled water logos based on where you live. Gabe says I drink toilet water before I touch Arrowhead water.
Oh God, Arrowhead is just disgusting.
So needless to say, yeah, you want to be in the members only group chat.
Yeah, you guys, a lot of people are asking me how to get in that. All you have to do is hit the join button. It's easier on a desktop, but I believe now you can do it on mobile. All you have to do is hit the join button, pick out members only content. That'll put you into the members only chat. It's $10 a month. DM Jake on Instagram, SLC Jake, and he'll add you to the group. For $2 a month, you get all of your comments highlighted in red. Pretty simple. I follow football topics on Twitter. I doubt the 10 posts in then years. What do you mean? I doubt I have 10 posts in. Oh, well, There you go. I agree. Dakota, getting into members chat is as difficult as using Venmo. Exactly. Members only chat is great. We sent a lot of feet pics. It's a must if you join. Don't. And don't spend your money on OnlyFans.
Dude. Bro, we got to have a conversation about this, dude.
Okay, so Mrs. Monty. Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Mrs. Monty and I subscribe somehow, I don't know how, to Wired Magazine.
Right.
Mrs. Morty sent me a story where we were talking about it a week or so ago about the scam that is OnlyFans, where when you subscribe to a content creator, they could very likely not be the ones running their channel. And especially the chat feature. Oh my. Now, Mrs. Monty sent me this Wired article, and I was doing some reading on my own. There are entire companies in, I believe, Bangladesh that are for hire by OnlyFans content creators that allow you to hire them to chat with your fans and get them to spend more money on your channel. So they have men that are dedicated to chatting with other men, unbeknownst to those other men, to drive your tips in chat. So when you think you're chatting with Cash Me Outside Girl, you're actually possibly likely chatting with some guy in Bangladesh.
Ned.
Rakesh.
Catch me outside. How about that?
That's a Jason Bourne poll.
Yeah.
But you're chatting with somebody in a third world country who's making pennies on the dollar to get you to spend more money with the person you think you're talking to.
How about that?
It's a scam. And now I know that I always get mocked and ridiculed when I say this, but you guys understand that this is why you shouldn't be looking at porn. This is why pornography is a great destroyer of men. You think you're talking to a hot chick when you're talking to some dude that's sweating and smoking cigarettes and his only job is to get you to spend money on OnlyFans. And it is part of this thing where the creator will take photos of herself. Let's use a female creator as an example. She'll take photos of herself and, hey, send me $5 and I'll take a selfie for you and send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
She'll take it right now. If you send me $5, I'll do it right now, and I will show you my blossoming flower. And that same picture's been sent to 10,000 dudes.
How about that?
It's a scam. It is absolutely a scam. And then there is the Cash Me Outside girl.
Right.
Danielle Bergoli. Did you guys see her balance sheet? Did you guys see how much money the Cash Me Outside girls made on OnlyFans since she turned 18? You hyenas have spent $71,332,700 or $332,786.34 because she turned 18. And you were like, yeah, she's legal now. She's netted $60,758.48. You're so addicted to porn that you've spent $71 million and she's put $57 million in her pocket.
Catch me outside. How about that?
I thought you said 57 million.
$57,060,758.48.
Bro.
Are you out of your mind?
That's an issue.
I'm telling you, pornography is the great destroyer of men.
It's really despicable.
And I know that people mock me when I say that, dude.
It's ridiculous.
Men have spent $71 million, and some women, I would assume, have spent $71 million on this girl. That's insane. That's insane. OG Gary, so you're telling me booty bet over 69 is a man. That's, I'm guessing.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Tanner's OnlyFans channel is Super Soaker 2000.
Yep.
Exactly right. Jeremy Severe. Porn is such a corrupt industry. It is as fake as it gets. You guys, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
If you're somebody that watches Pornhub in Utah, I think it's banned now.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have to put an ID online with a pornography company.
You have to like register.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
If you are an OnlyFans subscriber, which can you do OnlyFans in Utah?
No idea. Probably. I don't know. I don't know if OnlyFans is classified as a site the way like Pornhub would be.
I'm just telling you now, you guys, don't do it.
Yeah.
If you're watching porn, it is not good for you. And this gal's 57 million. Hey, more power to Cash Me Outside girl.
Yeah.
Right. But good Lord. Good Lord. Lopes Van Gabe, Rando call center seems pretty antiquated with the explosion of AI. Build a skanky chatbot and keep it moving. Well, it was interesting. This Wired article was a guy who, for the purpose of writing the article, tried to go and get a job as one of the dudes chatting with other dudes. And apparently he had like a real life conversation with another guy who I think was having trouble with his kids or something. And he tried to be like human and help the guy feel better, and they fired him for it. Because he was supposed to be like, okay, daddy, well, let me send you a picture of my banana and you'll feel better about your terrible kids.
How about that?
And he didn't do that. And so they fired him for it.
Yeah.
Fat Jesus. For 71 million, I wouldn't mind my daughter being a skank.
Jesus.
Wow. Okay. Old Gary, the private equity the Showgrum gets is from the Mrs. Marty. Exactly right.
Right.
Exactly right. John Hamm, almost 60 million, ? I'm starting an OnlyFans account today. I expect you all to join my account today. I'll send you selfies. Lord, 60 million.
Dude.
50. She's cleared $57 million. How long will it take for the girl, I'm not saying it, to get on OnlyFans, or maybe she's already out there. She's been offered Playboy, Hustler. She's been offered millions of dollars to do porn. She won't do it.
Yeah.
She's like, nah, dude, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. Anyone here seen the movie Trust? I don't think I have. No. I don't believe I have.
No.
I don't believe that I have.
No.
But there you go. The Monty Show, as always, presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. You didn't deserve to get in that accident. If you were camping this 4th of July and somebody hit your trailer, The Advocates. Please don't trust your car insurance companies. Don't trust your health insurance companies. Don't trust your workman's comp insurance. Get to The Advocates. Theadvocates.com. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.